Hi, my name is Lauren, and about a month ago I was diagnosed with severe scoliosis and found out that I would be needing surgery to correct it. When I found out, I had never really known that I had scoliosis at all, so it was a bit of a shock. I remember crying because I didn't really know whether I'd be able to still dance or still play tennis, which was really sad. My parents tried to explain what was going to happen, but they didn't really know much. So I decided to go on YouTube and watch tons of videos, read tons of articles about other people who were going through what I'm going through and having the same surgery as me. It made me feel a lot less nervous knowing that I wasn't alone and there were tons of other people who had the same surgery as me and theirs turned out fine. Because of that, I decided to document my experience for you guys so that maybe you guys can feel less nervous like just how I did.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I like to dance, play tennis, sing, read. It's pretty generic for a 13-year-old girl. So I first started noticing that my shoulders were a bit uneven, probably about, 8 months ago. I had noticed that when I was putting on dresses and for ballroom dance, that one side was always a lot lower. So I'd have to have one strap adjusted way down here, and one strap was a lot looser. But then the dress was level. And that was really weird, and I just kind of brushed it off, because I thought, oh well. I don't know what I was thinking, actually. I had begun to notice that on all of my shirts, one side was always lower, and you couldn't adjust them. So it was really weird. Well, when my parents first told me that I had scoliosis, I think it was a Friday night, and it was right after I came back from a really fun day at chorus camp. And I was having an awesome week, I was having a really great day, and there comes my dad, and he's like, Lauren, you have scoliosis? And I was just like, yeah, I know. I figured that out 4 months ago. But then he's like, no, it's bad. And I'm like, dude, you're lying. But then he showed me the x-ray, and I thought that my x-rays were mixed up with someone else's, because I'm like, there's no way. I thought it was a total lie. I thought that was someone else's x-ray. I was like, there's no way that is my back. This is the x-ray they showed me. That's my back. I didn't believe it for a few seconds, but come to terms with it. It makes a lot of sense now. Yeah, but as you can see, my shoulders are uneven, pretty big curvature. Well, it's worse. It could be worse. But yeah, it's pretty crazy that no one really noticed for a good year or two. Because we're thinking it probably got bad maybe in the past year. But we couldn't have done surgery until now, because I'm not really growing anymore very much. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense if you really think about it, because little things that are kind of off about me that's been going on for a year. So basically, to fix the scoliosis, I am going to have a spinal fusion surgery. What they're basically going to do is they're going to somehow untwist the spine and put it back into place, and then they're going to roughen up the bones and put more bone in and screws. So my spine is going to turn into one bone, kind of, not separate vertebrae. They're fusing the separate vertebrae in a way. So, but it's just my upper spine, so I'm not going to use too much. I'm not going to lose too much mobility in my spine. And then because you roughen up the bone is going to want to heal with the new bone and the screws. So it's going to be one bone. And then that makes it so it can't get worse again because it's one bone. So it will never curve again. It'll probably be about a 4-hour surgery. It will probably be about 3 days in the hospital. And then I will be going back to school after 3 weeks. And I should be playing sports again and doing stuff after 3 months. So that's pretty good. Could be worse. There is going to be a scar, maybe that long. And I don't really care if it's on my back, Scars aren't the worst thing ever. For the surgery, the most thing I'm nervous about is probably the stupid IV. I don't like needles. Oh. But, scar isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, who's gonna be staring at my back, right? So I did learn a few stuff while researching for the surgery, because I was curious. And there are two main things. One, no metal anywhere, because this one girl that I watched a video of, she had a hair tie that had a piece of metal in it, and they had to take it out because it was metal, and then her hair is down, and it was really bad. And also, make sure to put your hair into 2 French braids, because during the surgery and after the surgery, you will not be able to wash your hair for a few days. And if it's just down, it will get so tangled, and no one really wants that. So 2 French braids is a definite you should do that. Yeah, after the surgery, you kind of just don't do anything for like 3 weeks. So it sounds a bit boring. There's gonna be like a tutor so I can keep up with my schoolwork because it's 3 weeks. It's like not, it's a pretty long time. So I'm probably just doing math homework for 3 weeks, lying in bed. Yeah, so the doctor did say that there is a risk of nerve injury, but it's really slim. It's like 0.5% probability, and it's almost never happens. And the doctors are definitely able to pay attention to this because they're paying attention to all your nerves, and if they do something that the nerve does not like, they can fix it immediately, and there will probably be no lasting issues with it. So there is a small risk of infection, like maybe 1%. It comes from, the main risk is that the bacteria from acne, for instance, could infect the wound that they make, the incision. But they take extreme precautions, and it's probably not a problem. It's like 1%, so like, what are the odds of that? So there is a small risk, maybe 5%, of that people reported they have lasting back pain after surgery, but scoliosis also causes back pain, so you have to choose your battles. But it's such a small percentage that I think it's worth it. Just do it. My favorite bonus is that I want to be tall. I have stilts, and if I get the surgery, I will grow about 1 inch and I will be over 5'3", and that's awesome.
So I love dance. I've been dancing at the same studio since I was 5 years old. I love all the teachers, I know all the kids, and dancing makes me feel alive. This is my wave. So despite not being able to dance, I still love to dance. Ta-da! Hi, I'm back. My surgery is coming really soon, so I'm a bit nervous and apprehensive about it. But I'm really excited to have even shoulders and just looking forward to just getting it over with. So there you have it. My next video will be after my surgery in the hospital, so wish me luck. It's the morning of the surgery. I'm really hungry because I haven't eaten in a while. I've just been texting my friends who are awesome. And I'm just excited to get it over with. So I'll see you after the surgery. I'm not moving. I'm good. When I got checked in, the nurses took me into this curtained off area where there was this really cool warming bed that I got to sleep in. It's really nice. And this nice nurse gave me tons of pills. I think it was like actually 2, so not tons. And this little drink called Happy Juice, this medicine. And after that, I was just out. I don't remember any of it. But apparently, my parents told me that they rolled me into the OR and all that stuff, and I was talking about my Spanish test, and I requested to listen to Green Day, and I honestly don't remember any of this, but sounds cool. So when I woke up, I don't really remember too much, but I do remember thinking that I hadn't had the surgery yet. I was just like, has the surgery happened? Is it morning? What's going on? But apparently I did. The surgery went really well, and I think I recall the nurses giving me a popsicle. If that happened, I don't really remember. It's a really, really far away memory. I was really drugged up. Yeah, I don't really remember feeling much pain, probably all the medicine, at least that first day. So I was in the hospital for about 5 days. The entire time my mom stayed in my room with me. It was a bonding experience. I don't think I've ever spent that much time with my mom. 5 whole days, day and night, 24/7. So in the hospital, the nurses are everywhere. All the nurses were really, really nice, but they just don't go away. The nurses came to check on you every 2 hours, day and night. They just wake you up to do things like checking your vitals or giving you more medicine, which I'm very thankful for the medicine part because, I don't like pain. The vitals got really, really annoying because they would just come in every 2 hours and just say, okay, blood pressure and temperature, and then they would just leave and then come back 2 hours later. And it got really, really annoying because I just really wanted some sleep. But I'm sure there's a really good reason for it, but got a bit cranky. I think for the first 2 days, I was just on all liquid diet through the IV. When I finally started to be able to eat, I remember I got a saltine. It was the best saltine in the world. I do remember that while laying in bed for the first day, they mostly have you lay in bed. You're not really supposed to get up. But it's really hard to find a comfortable position in the bed. So the nurses would kind of like flip you and stuff pillows behind your back. They would like flip you from side to side on the bed. So to like, give you a break or something like that, I couldn't even flip from one side of the bed to the other by myself. It was really bad. And then like they would come in every hour or 2 hours or so because you would just start to get really, really uncomfortable in that position. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I really, really want to get up. But the next day, physical therapy came in and they said, okay, you have to get up. And it wasn't as fun as I thought. It was actually really bad. They taught us how to like log roll so we wouldn't move our back at all because like you don't want to do that. Our goal of the day was to just stand up and just like stand there for like a few minutes. And it was so hard. I remember the day before thinking, oh my God, I wish I could sit up. And then when I actually did, feeling, can I go back to bed, please? It was just so hard. It was like at points it hurt to breathe. The worst things that happened immediately after surgery were like your entire body is just asleep, so nothing's really quite working yet. So my bladder was just asleep, so I just couldn't do anything. So when they took the catheter out, I couldn't pee. So I was just like in extreme pain because it hurt so bad. So I think they had to recatheterize me twice because I just couldn't do it. But you know, once I could, it was the best feeling in the world. You don't take the little things for granted. Some of the side effects of the oxycodone is that it really, like, it makes you constipated. So I remember just trying to go for walks and feeling that my stomach hurt more than my back. So that is why I just refused to take the medicine, which my stomach got better, but my back got worse. You gotta choose one or the other. It's the back pain and the stomach pain. It's like, so a third of the medicines are to help with constipation, which did not work for the first few days for me, which was really bad because, you know, I was feeling nauseous and getting up to walk was just really terrible. By the second day, I was walking to the end of my room by the end of the day, just to the door. And then, you know, by the third or the fourth day, I was able to take a few laps around the little hospital area. And I think by the fourth day, I was walking upstairs. So you really improve quickly. I mean, it was still really painful. So when I got home, the first thing I ran into was that a lot of the chairs in my house were a lot lower. They didn't support your neck. They weren't high enough to do that. And that was one of the big things because I don't know if it was just me, but after the surgery, if I have a chair, it needs to be higher than my head because if it is lower, my neck is just gonna fall backwards and it just does not feel good. So if I was in the wheelchair, I would have like my mom or my dad hold my head up because I just got tired of holding my own head up. I only sit in chairs there's pillows because I just need the extra cushion for my back right now. So I just like carry pillows with me everywhere now. Well, actually I haven't left the house, so. I just pile up like 4 or 5 pillows. I'll just have like 1 pillow, 2 pillow, 3 pillow, 4 pillow, 5 pillow, and I just lay on that. And then I have my legs just resting. For the first few days, I remember trying to switch positions and roll back and forth. But now actually the most comfortable position is just laying on those 4 pillows and just like not doing anything. Just don't move at all. I actually slept a full night, almost, laying on those 5 pillows, which was awesome. First full night of sleep, except for waking up once to take medicine. But like, that first full night of sleep, don't take sleeping for granted, because like, in the hospital, sleep is non-existent. So you're allowed to shower 5 days after the surgery and get the incision wet. So that's the day you take off all the like big bandages and stuff, where you're only left with little steri strips that are covering the wound, I guess. You know, that was an awesome day. Showering is great. And I got to wash my hair. I was feeling really happy. I was really scared that, cause when you get a scratch and when you have it underwater, it hurts really bad. I was really paranoid that when I took a shower, it would just sting. It didn't. I Googled it. It didn't help me very much. Apparently no one else is Googling these things. Is that normal? Well, when I look in the mirror now, my shoulders are very even. When we did the surgery, the doctor was not looking to make my back completely straight. He was looking to make me symmetrical. It was more just cosmetic rather than having a perfectly straight back. So now when I look in the mirror, my shoulders are perfectly even, everything is even, and that extra inch in my torso was really made a big difference if you just look at me head on, in my opinion at least. But it's a lot more elongated and stuff, and now I am visibly taller than my mother, who is 5'1", and I am 5'3", so that's great. Okay, well, that's it for today. I'll be back in a week to tell you how I'm doing then. Things are still strange. For instance, standing up, when I feel like I'm straight, I'm actually still leaning towards the left, whereas when I actually am standing straight, I feel like I'm just making myself really crooked. So that's an issue still. So despite the surgery, I'm still crooked. So about 4 days ago, I started studying and doing schoolwork again, and I accidentally sat in a chair for an hour and a half, and then after that, I couldn't move for a day. So that was a bad idea. It's kind of difficult to study because I feel like I'll sit in the chair for 30 minutes, an hour, and then I'll think I need a break. So I'll go lay down and do something, and then suddenly it's an hour later, and I'm like, what happened? I do have to get caught up, so. As the pain got better, the itching over the incision wound got just worse. It's still pretty bad, because something about the skin healing makes the dead cells, I don't know, it just itches a lot, and there's not much you can do, because it's still a scratch, and you don't want to touch it, and there's this really weird numb feeling that's there, and it's numb, but it still hurts when you touch it. It's just really messed up. So you want to itch it really bad, but don't itch it. It's a stupid idea. I tried it. So when I first started studying, I mentioned that I was sitting up for an hour and a half, and after towards the end of that, it started getting hard to breathe, because just after the surgery, my spine felt really, really heavy. Almost when I was laying on my side, it felt like it was just gonna fall through my ribs or something like that. It was gonna fall through. It just felt so heavy. That feeling has gone away now, but I just remember it feeling really weird. During this week, I started getting really, really stir crazy. I just wanted to do stuff. I wanted to play tennis and dance or do anything, and it was terrible because you just can't right now. I felt like I could do stuff because my back wasn't hurting too much. I was feeling fine. I decided to run up and down the stairs. My mom almost scolded me. That was a bad idea. Don't do that. One night, my dad took me to Applebee's at 10:30, and then it was really hard to sit for that. And we were only there for 15 minutes eating a small dessert, and it was hard to sit there anyways. So just leaning back and forwards, the hard to breathe thing came back. So we just speed dinering. I don't know, but I tried. It felt good to get out. But, it was a bit too early still. Looking forward to going back to school in about 1 or 2 weeks once I start to be able to sit for long enough. And I'm just so excited to start doing things. So I'll see you in a week. Hi, I'm back. It's been 3 weeks since my surgery, and I've been doing pretty well. My back does not hurt as bad at all anymore, honestly. It's pretty manageable. I don't even take pain meds for my back anymore very often. One thing that is happening is I'm sort of realigning in a way. I'm still kind of crooked, and I still am falling over thanks to me making myself crooked. But because I haven't been moving my back very much, my lower back has gotten stiff and stuff, and it's cracking, and I guess it's realigning in a sort of way. And then on top of that, I was laying on my side quite a bit. So I guess something happened, and I was getting a sharp pain on the side of my incision wound, but that went away once I stopped laying on my side, and I'm doing well. Today I went for a checkup about my back, just to see how I'm doing after the surgery, and it went pretty well. The first thing they did was they checked whether I'm symmetrical and everything in the surgery went well, and they just made sure that
they did everything they could to make my shoulders and my hips symmetrical. One shoulder is slightly higher still, but it's so minor that it doesn't even matter. The next thing they did was they checked up on the incision wounds and they took off all the steri strips. It doesn't feel good. But, and they also chopped off all the knots. There's 2 knots, one at the top and the bottom. They're just procedure, so they chopped those off as well. And they said that the wound should be healed up by like next week, which is great. And you know, then I left and nothing else happened. If it weren't for my headaches, I probably would have been able to return to school next week, but because I can't concentrate on anything, I will most likely be returning to school the week after next week, exactly 1 month after my surgery. So wish me luck, and I'll see you all next week. Hi, so I'm back. It's been about 8 months since the surgery, and I was going to do this earlier, but I procrastinated, so we're doing this now. A lot has happened in these past few months. The biggest thing that happened was me going back to school, and that was pretty hard, but it went well. The first day I was back, it was actually a math test. I wouldn't recommend that because it was so hard to concentrate because my back was hurting and it was just sitting up for that long. It was in the middle of the day. It was awful, so I had to leave. I was actually leaving for a lot of my classes when I first went back to school. Like I was missing first period, leaving before 7th. It was just a big adjustment. One of the things that really helped me was that I brought a pillow to school. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but it actually really helped because those plastic chairs are killer on the back. They don't support anything. It's not very fun. Actually, another thing was that you can ask your teachers if they have like one of those spinny chairs, like those office chairs, because those are a lot more supportive and they're really fun, but also they're supportive, which is really helpful to make your back hurt less. I was doing PE for probably around 2.5, 3 months. During PE, actually, I had a little bed of mats and I just slept because another thing that I had was those headaches. So laying down, my head didn't hurt as much, which was one of the huge things at school because my head was just hurting really badly, which made it so hard to concentrate. So laying down in the middle of the day actually helped, and watching all my friends being tortured by my PE teacher was also very helpful to my recovery. Time went by quickly, and now school's over. So one thing that was really annoying about the surgery was that I had to quit like all of my physical activities, all of tennis, all of sports in general. But I actually got back to it pretty quickly. I was back to PE and tennis in about 3 months post-surgery. I still had to modify a lot. Like I couldn't do sit-ups because it hurt my back. I couldn't do push-ups because my back still was really tense for a while. Still is. But basically everything is pretty much back to normal. If I do a crazy workout, I might have a bit of back pain for maybe a day afterwards. There's still a few things that I refuse to do, like bridges or Supermans, you know, when you're on the floor doing that thing. Yeah. But, you know, it's pretty much back to normal. I went back to tennis maybe half a month earlier than when I went back to PE, which means my back was still hurting more than it is now. It was more stiff. I was actually still really out of shape and just tired all the time, which I still am, but that's not the point. But so when I went back to tennis, when I was serving especially, when you like serve, you have to move your arm back, you have to lean back, which was pretty difficult because my back was just really stiff. I was only playing for about 5 to 10 minutes at a time, and it was pretty rocky in the beginning. But now almost everything is back to the way it used to, some of them even better. So it's been going well. So maybe 2 weeks ago, I went back to see my doctor, which is awesome because I won't have to go back for another year. I looked at my x-rays, and my doctor actually told me that my spine is actually completely fused now, at least where they fused it. So that's really amazing. But my lumbar spine isn't actually as straight as it was after the surgery, because after the surgery, I was really off balance. My shoulders were to the side, and I was just falling over. But now that I am balanced and my shoulders are straight, it made another little curvature
in my lumbar spine more prominent. But that's supposed to be expected. He figured that'd happen. It happens to most people. So everything's good. All in all, my doctor said that I have no physical limits except for what I feel I shouldn't do, just based on how my back feels, and if my back hurts, then obviously I shouldn't do it. But I'm really happy that I went through with the surgery, and things are gonna keep getting better, so I'm really excited. All in all, this surgery has been difficult, I'm not gonna lie, and I really wish I didn't have to go through it. But it's also been a learning experience. It taught me that life isn't always easy, and there's always gonna be rough patches. But it also taught me that I can get through them, and so can you. So I really hope this video helps you get through your rough times, because watching videos like this always helped me. Thanks for listening to me. Bye! So now I'm gonna sing a song. The song is Rise Up by Andra Day, and it really inspired me to keep going through the surgery and to rise up. I would like to dedicate this song to Dr. Todd Lincoln and all the health professionals at Kaiser Permanente who helped me through this, and to all of my family, my friends, and my teachers, especially Maestra Mendoza, who was my home hospital teacher during my leave from school. So I hope you enjoy it.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out. Mountains, we're gonna walk it out. Mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you. When the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, we'll take it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you. All we need is hope, and that we have each other, and that we have each other, and we will rise, oh we will rise, oh we will rise, whoa, we will rise. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for again and again and again and again.